Have you ever looked in the mirror and wished you could become the kind of person nothing can shake? The one who walks through life untouched by rejection, immune to betrayal, indifferent to criticism. Maybe you've imagined what it would feel like to finally silence that ache inside you, the one that never leaves, even when you're smiling, even when you tell the world you're fine. Maybe you're just tired of carrying the weight of appearing strong, of always having it together, of pretending you're unbreakable when deep down all you want is one moment of peace, one moment where you can let go without falling apart. But here's something most people are too afraid to admit. Pain only controls you when you run from it. The more you try to avoid it, hide from it, numb it, the more power it gains over your life. You become a puppet to every word that cuts, every silence that haunts, every gesture that reminds you of how much you've buried inside. And that doesn't make you weak. That makes you human. The only difference between you and the people who seem fine is that they have learned to wear better masks. Carl Jung once said we are not what happens to us, but what we choose to become. And in that truth lies your way out. It's not about building walls so high no one can reach you. It's not about becoming emotionless or pretending you're above pain. It's about seeing clearly what lives in your shadow and bringing it into the light. Real strength isn't about feeling nothing. It's about standing in full awareness of your wounds and saying, "This is me, and I'm still here." If you're still listening, it's not a coincidence. This was meant to reach the part of you that's done with hurting silently, the part of you that's tired of giving others the keys to your peace, of living at the mercy of how people treat you. You don't need to stay stuck in that cycle. But to break it, you have to face something most people never dare to. You think the pain is coming from the outside, from the betrayal, the rejection, and the abandonment. But the truth? None of those things actually have the power to break you unless they've touched something inside you that's already raw. The pain isn't in what others do. It's in what those actions awaken within you. It's the old wounds that never healed, the childhood stories that never got rewritten, the hidden emptiness you've been masking with strength and pride and forced smiles. Jung taught that the pain we feel in the outer world is only a mirror, reflecting what we haven't yet faced within. That's why some people can walk through storms with calm, while others fall apart at a single harsh word. It's not about what life throws at you. It's about where it hits you, and what's already there when it does. And here's the hardest truth of all. You still suffer because some part of you believes that if you just do everything right, if you're kind enough, smart enough, strong enough, you can stop the world from hurting you. You think control will protect you, but control is a lie. The more you cling to it, the more exhausted you become, trying to shape a world that will never bend to your rules. If you want peace, stop fighting reality. Stop building emotional armor and start building awareness. You don't need the world to change. You need to stop believing that your peace depends on it. Freedom begins the moment you realize that nothing outside of you has power unless it resonates with what's already inside. And that's where your real fight begins. Not with the world, but with the invisible forces driving your reactions, your fears, your patterns. The truth is, you are not fully in control of your life. At least not until you stop living on autopilot. Until you stop reacting without knowing why. Until you stop feeling things you can't explain. Making decisions that betray what you say you want. Jung was right. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That anger you can't explain. That sadness that shows up uninvited. That fear that keeps you from speaking up. They're not random. They are messages from parts of you you've long ignored. Parts you've buried. But they haven't disappeared. They are alive. Still pulling the strings. Still waiting to be acknowledged. And every time someone says something that shatters you, it's not because their words are magic. It's because they touched something sensitive, something unresolved. And as long as you keep sweeping those pieces under the rug, you'll keep tripping over them. You can pretend they're not there, but your life already knows the truth. It's written in the way you react, the way you hold back, the way you break down when no one's watching. You want to become unshakable? Then stop running. Sit with the pain, learn its language, make peace with your shadows. Because only when you face what's within can the outside world lose its grip on you. You've been taught to run, taught that pain is a problem, that emotions must be controlled, that silence means strength. But no one told you what happens when you keep silencing the very things that make you human. No one told you that what you bury doesn't vanish. It festers, it mutates, it finds other ways to speak, and it speaks in your worst moments, in the relationships that feel like deja vu, in the anxiety that creeps in when life finally feels good, in the fear that visits when you least expect it. That's not bad luck. That's your unconscious, not shouting at you, shaking you, begging you to look within. But you keep running. Keep blaming everything outside. Keep building walls and wearing masks, thinking if you look strong enough, nothing can touch you. You say you don't care, that nothing gets to you, but inside you're bleeding, corroding under the weight of what you refuse to face. And the truth? The pain you fear isn't outside you, it's already inside. And no armor can protect you from a battle within your own soul. Still, there's another way. A path not paved with defense, but with discovery. Because real strength doesn't come from resistance. It comes from knowing. Knowing who you are, what you carry, and why it hurts. It comes from peeling away every shield and finally meeting yourself. All of you. The parts you're proud of. The parts you've hidden. The parts you wish didn't exist. You think becoming untouchable means nothing affects you. But the real untouchables are not the cold ones. They're the ones who have embraced their fire. They don't flinch at fear because they faced it. They don't run from pain because they've made peace with it. They are not puppets of their emotions because they've stopped hiding from them. They've integrated them. And that is power. Carl Jung called it individuation. The journey of becoming who you truly are. Not who the world expects, not who your past shaped you into, but the person who rises from the collision of light and shadow. It's not about being perfect. It's about being whole. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to meet yourself entirely. And what no one ever told you is this. The more you run from pain, the more fragile you become. The more you try not to be hurt, the more the smallest things will wound you. But when you turn toward it, when you stop running and start listening, something begins to change. Because that pain you feared your whole life, it's not your enemy. It's the messenger. The voice of your soul asking to be heard. It disguises itself as anxiety, as a numbness, as anger that flares without reason. It knocks louder the more you ignore it. And when it breaks through, it often feels like collapse, like your world is falling apart. But maybe it's not falling apart. Maybe it's falling into place. You see, pain isn't chaos. Pain's a signal that something in you wants to grow, but something else is gripping too tight to the old. It's a war between what you've always known and who you are meant to become. It's not failure. It's friction. And yes, it hurts. Change always does. Letting go of illusions, stepping away from comfort, shedding identities you clung to. It's a kind of death. But in that death, there is birth. Because when everything you thought you were crumbles, you're left with something pure, something real, you. That's the gift of suffering. It strips away what's false. It breaks the mask. It brings you face to face with the self you've been avoiding. And when that happens, when you finally kneel before your own truth, nothing outside of you holds power anymore. Not rejection, not failure, not fear, because you've seen yourself in your rawest form and you didn't look away. That's not weakness, that's strength. That's the moment you stop being at war with yourself. And when the war ends, peace begins. The kind of peace that no one can give you. The kind that can't be broken because it's built from the inside out. Most people never get there. They give up. They run back to comfort. But you didn't. And that changes everything. If you've come this far, it means something inside you is stirring. A quiet voice that's no longer willing to be ignored. You're not here by accident. You're here because you are ready. Ready to step into a deeper truth, one that doesn't promise ease or applause, but offers something far more valuable. Liberation. The journey inward isn't for the faint of heart. Few ever truly begin it, and fewer still finish it. Because this path won't coddle you. It won't preserve your pride or protect your comfort. It will strip you bare. It will ask you to walk through fire without armor. But that fire, it doesn't burn you. It reveals you. Becoming who you truly are is not about adding more. It's about letting go. Then letting go of the roles, the masks, the ideas of yourself you built just to feel worthy, safe, accepted. You'll start to see how much of your life was shaped by fear. Fear of rejection, of failure, of being unseen. And when that illusion crumbles, it will hurt. Because it's not just the world you've been afraid of. It's yourself. There comes a moment when everything you've been running from begins to surface. Every wound, every shadow, every part of you you've tried to deny. And you have two choices. Bury it again, or face it. If you choose to face it, you begin to change. Not from the outside in, but from the inside out. This is not about becoming untouchable. by pretending you don't feel. It's about becoming untouchable because you've felt everything and survived it. You've looked your pain in the eye. You've sat with your anger, your longing, your shame, and said, I won't hide from you anymore. And in doing so, something extraordinary happens. You stop being ruled by the need to be liked, to be right, to appear strong. You stop reacting. You start responding, not from your wounds, but from your center. That is real power. That is real peace. Your strength no longer comes from defense. It comes from depth. A calm so rooted that no storm can shake it. You'll still hurt, but you won't be broken. You'll still feel, but you won't be consumed, because you're no longer scattered across 1,000 needs and fears. You've come home to yourself. But understand this. Depth often comes with distance. Not because you want to isolate, but because not everyone can walk with you where you're going. Most people are still clinging to their masks, still afraid to feel too much, to go too deep. And so, the space between you and them widens. That space is not arrogance, it's evolution. You are no longer shrinking to fit into the places that once made you feel safe. You're no longer interested in playing small just to be accepted. You've outgrown your hiding place. And now, what shields you isn't strength in the way the world understands it. It's clarity. That sharp, unwavering awareness that keeps you rooted even when everything around you feels uncertain. It's the knowing that you are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your past. You are the awareness behind all of it. And nothing, no loss, no insult, no betrayal can reach that part of you. Still, don't mistake awakening for some grand event. It's not lightning and fireworks. It's daily. It's quiet. It's painful. It's choosing to look inward even when everything in you wants to escape. It's taking responsibility for your experience, even when it would be easier to blame, because you finally understand. What you resist controls you. What you embrace frees you. You resisted your fears, your pain, your need for love and validation. You've resisted the truth of your own vulnerability, and in that resistance, you've suffered. But now, you see, you don't have to fight the world or yourself anymore. You can stop, breathe, look inward, choose differently. Emotional freedom doesn't come from building walls. It comes from opening your eyes, from seeing your wounds without flinching, from recognizing your patterns, owning your triggers, and choosing not to be ruled by them anymore. Yes, you'll still get hurt, but it won't undo you, because you know who you are beyond the pain. This is what changes everything. Not because life stops hurting, but because you stop hiding from it. You stop fearing it. You learn to live in it, fully, deeply, truly. And as you dive into that depth, you discover something most never will. Down there, beneath the surface noise, there is peace. There is power. There is silence. And in that silence, you remember who you are. So keep going, keep diving, because once you begin to live from this place of wholeness and presence, the world might still try to shake you, but it won't find anything to knock down. You're not pretending to be strong anymore. You're simply awake. And that is enough.